Hi, this is Mark Price from M Squared Group and cultivatingyourcustomers.com. When you start looking at the value of social media for B2B transactions as opposed to business to consumer, you find it's a very different process. Because the decisions are larger, involving more money, and take a longer period of time, it's a much longer selling process. In addition to that, a lot of people write about traditional business sales as if it was a 3 or 4 step process, where you start with awareness, then you go to interest, then you go to narrowing down a choice set, then you get quotes, and you make a decision. But the problem is, business-to-business sales really isn't like that. Very often buyers will think about making a decision, but actually not make it for some period of time. They may do some research, get some quotes, go back and do some more research, a variety of different things, and really kind of go around in circles until they get the information they need and then move ahead in the process. So what makes social media even harder for translating to ROI for business to business is you really don't know when the prospect is really going to buy. So how do you measure it over time, and how do you know if you're doing the right thing? So what we find is that rather than trying to structure social media around business-to-business steps specific from awareness to interest to getting quotes and making a decision, in fact what you do is you provide places where a prospect can get the information they need to get when they need to get it. And then you give them information on an ongoing basis so that they build a relationship with you over time. And then when they're ready to raise their hand, they're more likely to raise their hand in your direction for a quote and eventually for a sale. So what we find is rather than traditional social media venues like Facebook, and I joke that when was the last time that a business-to-business buyer actually looked at Facebook before buying something? Really never. What happens in a lot of cases, the best companies, they create portals. They create a location on the web where lots of information is available for a potential buyer. So the first thing they do is they create that portal, a central location, and then they bring prospects to it. They provide information that is impartial, so it doesn't look like they're trying to drive them to a sale, because it's easy to lose that trusted position with a prospect. The second thing they do is they then customize the content. Because if you customize the content for a prospect, what you're doing is you say, you know who they are. So you need to ask them some information so that you can get some information about them. And then you use that information to customize the content and give them just the information they need to know about. You don't waste their time on standard brochures. You don't try to get them to buy before they're ready. All those things break down the bounds of confidence and trust with a prospect and lead you to basically be commoditized. But what you do is you provide them with just the information they need. And the third thing is, because a prospect's timing is variable, you time your communications to the prospect's need. So by that, what I mean is, you may give them alerts on different kinds of pieces of information, but if they are not going to be in a buying position for 6 months, you don't send them anything about a buying process for 4 months. Otherwise, you look way too pushy, like you're trying to rush a sale, like you don't really care about what's going on with them. You match their timetable with your communications. So if you build portals, you ask information about the prospects. You customize your content to those prospects, and you time them to when a prospect is most likely to buy. You will be in that trusted position and be able to be there when the prospect raises their hand. Also, because you have tracked each time a customer or a prospect clicks and opens on that information, and when they come to your portal, you can actually relate those clicks and opens to the buying process. So it allows you to create real ROI out of kind of what I would call homemade social media, right? Where you create your own social media place, where people who are struggling with an issue can talk to each other, can get the information and feel safe. By creating that, you're going to get the ROI and be able to track your investments, prove out the value, and expand the initiative over time. This is Mark Price from M Squared Group and Cultivating Your Customers, signing off for now.